Suicide is the third leading cause of death among teenagers. In the U.S., it claims roughly 4,500 young victims annually. Suicide is defined as intentional self-inflicted acts that end in death. Very few people are willing to talk about it, attaching a stigma of shame and fear to those who suffer from suicidal feelings. Generally, teens who attempt suicide are suffering from severe depression. In fact, most depressed teens think about suicide, and 15 to 30% actually attempt to kill themselves. Girls are more likely to attempt suicide, but boys are 4 times more likely to die of a suicide attempt. Roughly 80% of suicide victims are male. Depression is best defined as severe, prolonged sadness. It usually occurs as a reaction to stress in a teen's life, such as the death of a friend or classmate, or breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. It can affect your health, behavior, physical appearance, grades, ability to cope, friendships, pretty much every aspect of your life. So how do you know if a teenager is depressed? Here are some common indications of depression that could tip you off. Poor grades, withdrawal from friends, sadness, hopelessness, lack of enthusiasm, energy, or motivation, extreme anger, overreaction to criticism, feeling like a failure, poor self-esteem, guilt, lack of focus, restlessness, or changes in eating or sleeping habits. If you or someone you know is displaying several of these symptoms, it's important to talk about it with someone you trust. Even if you don't feel comfortable talking to an adult who could get professional help, it would be beneficial to discuss these kinds of fears with someone your age. Keeping your feelings bottled up inside does more harm than good. Myth: talking about suicide will prompt people to kill themselves. Truth: in fact, talking about suicide does just the opposite. Talking about suicide is like learning about marijuana in health class. Raising awareness decreases the number of teens who will fall victim. According to Patricia Hermes, it is not education about suicide that is harmful, it is ignorance. Also, if teens feel like it's safe to talk about suicidal feelings, they'll be more likely to ask for help and be saved. Suicide has a huge impact on the lives of those left behind. When someone near you commits suicide, it changes your whole perspective on life. Even if you didn't know the victim personally, the world may seem a lot darker, a lot lonelier. Those left behind may even start to feel depressed or suicidal themselves. They may wonder, why? The truth is, you can never know the full reason why someone would want to kill themselves. In fact, when someone feels suicidal, there's rarely ever a single reason or problem that makes them feel like life isn't worth living. Teens who have been there and back, so to speak, all say that the many stresses of life just start to pile up all at once. They felt like their problems were suddenly getting bigger and bigger, but that there was nothing they could do about it. The only way out was to simply stop living. One such suicide survivor said, "I don't believe that anyone who thinks about or feels like committing suicide really wants to die. Rather, they feel like they need a way out, but they don't see any other option. They feel cornered, helpless, like whether they live or die is the only control they have left over their lives." Sadly, many suicide victims do not realize the finality of death until it's too late. Clues that someone is feeling suicidal can come from how they act, the things they say, and their current situation in life. Such indications include giving away possessions, withdrawal from friends and activities they used to enjoy, changes in eating or sleeping habits, a sudden, major behavior or personality change, the use of drugs or alcohol, risky behavior, expressing feelings of worthlessness or despair, expressing a wish to die, poems, essays, or drawings that refer to death, talking about death and dying, or any mention of harming themselves. If a teen displays several of these warning signs, and you suspect they may be contemplating suicide, try talking to them about it. You don't want to scare them, so start by asking, "You seem kind of down lately. Is anything wrong?" This will give them an opportunity to open up and confide in you. If it turns out something is wrong, you could ask, "Are you feeling so sad that you're thinking of dying?" But what if the answer is yes? What if they tell you they're contemplating suicide? You must be sensitive and sympathetic. Do not tell them how great their life is, how lucky they are, or how many reasons they have to live. While you may have the best of intentions, saying such things can make a depressed person feel even worse. Don't treat depression like a phase, or tell someone to snap out of it. They can't. Instead, be kind and caring. Listen quietly and attentively. Act as if what they're telling you is the most important thing to you at the moment. Remind them that you care about them, and most importantly, take all threats seriously. When you find out that someone is having suicidal feelings, do not keep it a secret. Tell a trusted friend and tell an adult. Confiding in your parent, teacher, or counselor can be difficult, but they can stop someone from killing themselves. You can't. All you can do is get help before it is too late. Depression can leave a teen feeling isolated and full of despair, but there is hope. There are people who care at every corner, and all you have to do to potentially save a life is open your eyes, your ears, and your heart.